Alright, resuming the final segment, and just one thing I want to mention before I unpause is, look at Alchemist's health. How the hell does he have 4,578 health? His ultimate isn't even on. I want to see him turn on his ultimate. I'm not going to de-slack him, because I want to see how much health he has with his ultimate on. They pick up a kill on Crystal Maiden, and someone else too, but I mean, this is over. Some Fountain Diamond going on against Earthshaker, and Alchemist taking some damage. He goes down. I guess I won't get to see his health because the game will end too soon. Unless he buys back. And Morphling in some trouble. How's his strength doing? His strength's going up and 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 up. He's got no agility though, so he does no damage. Well, he doesn't do no damage. But you see hold positioning? I think he just taunted Drow by holding position for a few seconds. Pretty dick move. Meanwhile, Nevermore's pushing their last lane. Storm Spirit comes in to kill him. And so does Puck. I mean, they get him, but they're down 2 lanes. And Denny's saying, well played again. He's just taunting. I don't like it. They're just toying with their enemies instead of ending the game. I guess it can be fun to do this when you're playing sometimes, but to watch, not very entertaining. Let's see if Alchemist comes back before it ends. I just want the Alchemist life with his 2 things on, his ultimate and the armlet. Because it may be like the most life I've ever seen in a long time. It's just a matter of time. Rylai's got a 4 staff with an ogre axe. Alchemist? No, that's Rylai. Alchemist, where are you? Too bad Alchemist has phase boots instead of treads, because treads would have made it even more ridiculous with the extra strength. Alright, Alchemist, go! I'm just gonna watch Alchemist, I don't care what's happening bottom. Okay, I'll look at bottom. Drow kills, Morphling. Nevermore. Doesn't kill Drow, Drow kills him. Storm Spirit dies. Rylai's. Thank you, Alchemist, for trying to end the game. Did he use his ult and then Manta, which cancels his ult? I think he might have. Which is a mistake if he did. A mistake I've made before, too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. In any event, he's got 4,500 health without his ultimate on. I should go look. Just imagine, I forget how much health his ult adds, but it's like 1,100 or something. Too bad he had to do that in the wrong order. Might have been able to see it for a second, but yeah, that's the game, and I'll just pause. And do a bit of egg game analysis. The final analysis, creep stats. 200 on the Drow, she laying against Nevermore, who had her beat 235. 152 on Storm Spirit against the Morphling with 196, beaten. Puck's 107 against KKY, 190. What were the deciding factors in this game? Well, I'm going to say the deciding factor, first and foremost, was probably the tri-lane top against the dual lane. If you remember, Venge just wasn't initially top. Initially it was just Puck and the Earthshaker, and they were just dominated for a while. And Venge was doing great supporting the Drow, but she had to go leave to help the tri-lane. And even when it was tri-lane against tri-lane, they still lost. And as a result, Alchemist was a factor in the game and Puck was not. So in a sense, it was almost, when you think Dota, I mean, you have your supports, but if you subtract out the supports, it's like a 3-on-3 in some senses. I mean, supports still play a huge role, but in some senses you have your 3 farmed heroes against the enemy's 3 farmed heroes. And in this game, Puck really wasn't farmed, and Alchemist was, so it was almost, in some senses, like 2 heroes for the Sentinel against 3 on the Scourge, which isn't too favorable. And not only that, but Jacaro, early on, he helped out do a few pushes. He wasn't pivotal, but he was there, and they took out the towers. Whereas Sentinel never did. I said Sentinel could come back and take towers, but if you look, Sentinel never took these 3 towers. Ever. And it's hard to win a game without killing a single one of your opponent's tier 2 towers. Well, it's kind of impossible, frankly, but you really need to take those towers down. And they didn't really have any pusher here. None of the heroes on Sentinel are great pushers. I mean, Drow kind of is just because her DPS is so ridiculous, but she happens to have the escape ability. If she pushes, she can easily be killed. And item builds. So Drow went for the BKB before the Manta, and that, I would say that did not work out for her. Drow's DPS just was not what her team needed to be. Storm Spirit, he opted for a BKB into an Orchid, and it kind of worked, but he got it a bit too late, I think. I don't know, maybe with a bit more farm, he could have been more successful. Or if he had opted just for a Linken's into an Orchid, I'm not sure. But the problem with the BKB first is, if you think about it, when you get the BKB, he had no % mana regen items. Like, when you get the Linken's, you get the Voidstone Perseverance, which really helps your mana regen out, which is something Storm really needs. So maybe without that mana regen, that hampered his ability to gank and play effectively and just spam his electrical spirit thing. Earthshaker, he went to Soul Ring before the Blink Dagger. And a lot of people don't like that, a lot of people do like it. I think it's still something that's being decided which way is better. But that really did delay the Blink Dagger, and I guess it was just a factor of... I don't think I saw any good Blink ults from Earthshaker. Well, that's not really his fault. I mean, to Blink ult, you really need your team to be there to back you up. I mean, Blink ult's like, it's a team fight move, right? It's what you do, you zoom, you blink, you ult, then your allies are there and you win the team fight, and there weren't really any situations where he could do that. I don't think there weren't that many team fights in total. I mean, there were a lot of smaller clashes in this game. There were some clashes at Rosh, and that was about it. But clashes at Rosh aren't where you'll see Earthshaker use for his full potential, because he relies on all the creeps being around, right? Puck just did not get the farm. I mean, look at Puck. He's got nothing. He's got a Blink Dagger and an Ultimate Orb 48 minutes into the game. And you need more than that, to be frank. That's just not enough to be effective. I mean, on Puck especially, a hero that trails off in his usefulness as the game goes on, he just could not contribute enough. Venge has 21 assists, so you can see Venge was there for 3 kills, 21 assists. She was there for 24 out of her team's 45 kills. That's pretty good participation. I've definitely seen better supports. Sometimes Venge's support can pretty much win a game. I mean, usually you think of the carries as being the heroes that win the game, but a good support on Venge can be a huge decisive factor in winning the game. And I wouldn't say Venge played poorly, but there's definitely room for improvement, I felt. In particular, I remember one time she swapped you here at the same time Storm ulted, and the two sort of canceled each other out. So bad communication. I think the Sentinels team's communication as a whole could really use some improvement. KKY on the Alchemist. Very interesting build. The Heart Manta. The Heart was the last item, but the Manta, he went Armlet into... No, he went Lothars into Armlet, into Manta, into Heart. Very unusual, very interesting to watch. He played it fairly well, very aggressive. Instead of the tank build with a Radiance that just sort of you stick around and do gradual damage, he played a much more interesting to watch, chasing DPS kind of build, and it worked okay. It worked well enough to make me want to try it, I think. Jakro helped push towers. As a support hero, I see him a lot in pro games, but I'm not convinced. If he lays down effective macro pyres, that can be decisive in team battles, but he did lay down some good macro pyres this game. But a lot of the time, if you don't see those macro pyres, then the hero just doesn't contribute as much as he can. Which is why I don't like Jakro so much, although he's very effective early game as part of a tri-lane because of his high health, which enables him to not die, and the effectiveness of his dual breath ability. Crystal Maiden, pretty standard Crystal Maiden support. Shadow Fiend. nothing much to say. Morphling, very unusual build, no Manta. I think they could have ended, I mean, if you remember, I think they had a great advantage early on for a while, and I think they could have ended the game much earlier if Morphling had gotten his Manta, but Scatty's a fine item too, and so is Butterfly. I just don't think they're as good as Manta. And I guess that's it for this commentary. Thanks very much for watching. This is TPOHC, over and out.